I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hey everybody, this is Jason Dean with the JoBlo Movie Network. Last year saw the box office bombs of Warcraft and Assassin's Creed, and while many thought these were bad, we wanted to remind them of our top 10 worst video game movies. Number 10 is the original Street Fighter from 1994 with Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile and Raul Julia as General M. Bison. The movie was made for only $35 million and made 3 times its money back upon release. But regardless of the financial success, the film was panned by critics and fans alike. Unfortunately for Raul Julia, it was his final performance as he died from complications related to stomach cancer a few months before it premiered. Number 9 is Lara Croft Tomb Raider from 2001. Now I know Rotten Tomatoes is not the most reasonable metric, but it can give you an idea of a movie's reception. Tomb Raider garnered a 19% on there and generally received poor reviews even from casual viewers. Many people felt like Angelina Jolie was suited to play Lara Croft and did fine in the role, but felt the story and production values didn't do the film justice. Many others felt the movie was not good, compounded with Jolie being a bad choice for the lead. Number 8 is a flick based on one of the biggest video game franchises in history. 2005 saw the release of Doom, where even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson couldn't save this movie. Once again, Rotten Tomatoes showed a 19% for this movie among critics, and most fans were upset at how the story and plot deviated from the video game too much. The most noteworthy aspect of the film was the use of first-person perspective emulating the gameplay of the video game. Number 7 is just painful, but then again, it was 1994 and the budget was just under $8 million. Double Dragon was turned into a low-budget movie taking place in a post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, where 2 brothers use martial arts to protect 2 halves of a magical medallion. No-name actors, a first-time director, a limited budget, and a comedic take on a martial arts fighting game make this one sloppy mess of a video game movie. Skip this one at all costs. Number 6 is BloodRayne, which is a bit more recent of a game franchise, which might make you think it would be a better movie. Well, you're wrong. It's the first Uwe Boll movie on our list and has a list of fairly well-known stars, including Kristanna Loken, Michael Madsen, Michelle Rodriguez, Meatloaf, Billy Zane, and even Ben Kingsley. With a cast like that, you would think something is salvageable, but with 4% on Rotten Tomatoes and a horrible reception by most everyone who saw it, it's really that bad. Number 5, surprise surprise, is another Uwe Boll movie known as Postal. For those of you too young to remember or too smart to have played it, way back in 1997 there was a PC game put out by the same name about a mentally unstable individual who goes on a rampage killing everyone in his way, which of course was making light of the real-world post office shooting tragedy several years prior. The movie was protested for the subject matter, but the smartest people protested it just because it was a terrible movie. Number 4 might be blasphemous at first because a lot of people liked the Mortal Kombat movie from 1995, but this is the sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation from 1997. If you saw both of these, then right now you're going, oh yeah, that's right, the crappy sequel that never should have been made. Once again, I know it's not a great metric, but holy cow, this movie got a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it one of the most universally panned movies in the history of theatrical releases. We agree. Speaking of sequels, number 3 is another follow-up to a movie that wasn't that great to begin with. In 2006, Silent Hill was turned into a cheesy horror movie that was a reasonable success, both critically and financially. While not great, it was passable as far as video game movies are concerned. Then, 6 years later, Silent Hill Revelation 3D was made with a reasonable budget and decent cast listing, and yet failed to even live up to its predecessor in almost any way, ending with a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. I swear this is our last sequel on the list that has the video game name and a subtitle separated by a colon. Number 2 is Resident Evil Retribution from 2012. Now honestly, I'm a bit stumped at this one being this low on the list. I almost kinda like this movie personally, and it made a lot of money and ended up with 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. However, I am definitely on an island apparently for giving this movie a pass, since most fans consider this one of the worst in the franchise. But then what do I know? So, what's the worst video game movie according to JoBlo? How about the unbelievably awful Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993? This movie goes from so bad it's good to oh god, it's so bad again. Bob Hoskins paired up with John Leguizamo to fight against Dennis Hopper as King Koopa in this preposterously terrible movie that is so bad that the effects, story, directing, acting, and production values are easily surpassed by even the most basic fan films on YouTube today. Every experience had by the cast and crew in retrospect is nothing but dreadful to hear about, and all of that is why it holds the #1 spot on our list. So there's our top 10 worst video game movies. Tell us down below which one you think is the worst. I'm Jason Dean for the JoBlo Movie Network, and thanks for watching.